Hello and welcome.
Good evening.
My name is Alex and it's time to take a look at the game week number 33 and obviously the incredible result. 79,000 rank is not something I expected to have after not having any single player from Arsenal or Aston Villa. I obviously had my assistant manager chip, which I would have probably better be off if I used it on Pep Guardiola. At the same time, 17 points from Arteta, not too shabby at all. And yeah, unfortunately, they didn't really try at all. And that's why getting Arsenal players in general, I was kind of reluctant because I felt like they're not trying to win the trophy in the Premier League this season. So they will probably not be playing to their fullest potential. And besides, Arsenal have been conceding consistently almost every game, despite people have been dragging on and on, speaking about like their incredible defense, which, I mean, if you had Raya and Gabriel or Raya and Saliba, good for you. I already had triple up on Arsenal previously in defense and I suffered a lot, so I decided to just go the last few games without them, and it actually reaped the benefits of that, just because I covered the Arsenal points in general with Arteta. Most of the points were scored by Trossard, and Saka didn't do anything. Many people captained Saka for this game week, and the idea is that I'm not going to be using wildcard in Gameweek 34, and I'm going to be saving that for the next game week, I think Gameweek 36 in general, or 37, and then I also have the bench boost chip active, probably in one of these game weeks too. So I think I'm in a position where I can gain a nice ground if if everything goes my way. But I've seen the bench boost this week failing, and I know that if it's my luck, I will probably get like 5 points tops on my bench boost, maybe 10. And yeah, it would be nice to get something more, and I will save 2 chips as a differential. As you can tell, my team doesn't need any drastic improvement in order to, if I don't need to like improve this team massively and to field starting 11, I can only make one transfer, hoping that Aina is playing, but I can't really risk it, so Aina may be benched and Munoz will be sold then for a player like maybe Livramento or anyone from Newcastle defense, because they're playing Ipswich, and I think a game against Brighton and Chelsea could be like very favorable fixtures for Newcastle to beat the opposition and obviously get some points. Arsenal away, given that Arsenal are not even trying, that could be also like the fact that they're marking these fixtures as red. I would not agree with that necessarily, although Newcastle painfully lost away. So if you kept Eddie Howe as your assistant manager, tough luck. But I decided to use my transfer and got Arteta. So I can go with -4 and feel this a nice starting 11. So Aina will become, no, like Aina Munoz will become Livramento, for instance, and then instead of Mateta, now the question, whom I'm bringing instead of Mateta, and whom can you bring? So you may be playing on on the free hit chip, and I think some differentials which you can afford and which I personally wouldn't be getting in the long run, because if Liverpool are winning this league, right, winning the trophy, how many times Luis Diaz is going to be starting in the final games where they, like, well, maybe Chiesa will be getting some games, because Chiesa needs to play 5 times in order to get the Premier League winners medal, so that can be instead of Luis Diaz. But for this given game week, I think there's a chance the odds of Luis Diaz playing more than 70 minutes are pretty high, and he already scored 11 goals this season. He has assisted a few times. Now, look, yeah, the game that they played against Leicester was very bad, and that's why I'm kind of like a little bit cautious about Liverpool assets in general. You can try and go crazy differential and get Trent for the free hit, it's fine, I guess. But the player that I would like to get on free hit if I were you, and I already have him, and I'm very happy about that decision, played him against Manchester United. I was pretty sure he's going to be delivering me some points one way or another, and he delivered me 14 points, which propelled my rank big time against Tottenham. Many people didn't even have a single Wolves player from that game, and fair enough, but I think 2 Wolves players that you would want to have on your free hit or in general, and I think I'm ending up with both. And one of them I already have Ait Nouri, 4 goals. He already assisted, how many times? He assisted 6 this season, and most of these are coming in the last few games. And I think it just like he's picking up this form, and getting Ait Nouri would be a good decision. Matheus Cunha, a player that I'm itching to get. He already rose in price by 0.1. I think he's rising in price by another 0.1. Maybe on tomorrow. I don't know. If he is rising in price, I may go early transfer. If he's not rising in price, I'll wait till deadline. Maybe there's some news will crop up or some kind of like updates will crop up about other teams. Thing is about Cunha, like his demeanor and his like obviously in general behavior like towards the club was a little bit disrespectful in a way where like he just signed a new contract and he was saying, I'm destined to play Champions League football, I need to play in a bigger club. I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, you heard me in the comments, I feel like these messages appeared in the social media. Maybe it's all blasphemy and slander against Cunha, and he actually is a Wolves through and through player. But if he's getting regular starting time, and he got that start against Manchester United, I think he is equally is the best pick in attack for you, because he's playing Leicester, a team that has been officially relegated after losing to Tottenham. And now look, I feel like they're very lucky. The Wolves scored 4 against Tottenham just 2 game weeks ago. I feel like getting Matheus Cunha is absolute no-brainer, and many people will have him on the thumbnail, and I think I will even end up having him on my thumbnail video, because this is such a no-brainer. Every time he touches the ball and it like ends up a goal or an assist, he instantly gets 3 points, 3 bonus points. It feels like it's just some kind of a magnet, right? So he is so prolific, he creates so many chances, like big chances created 12. He assisted 4 times, scored 14, and just given that he was always, oftentimes getting on the pitch from the bench just because of like some kind of like, I don't know, some disciplinary measures, or like his injury record as well wasn't really perfect. Justin Kluivert, another player that many people are overlooking, especially after that really an inspiring performance against a 10-man Crystal Palace. They couldn't manage to score a single goal against this very leaky defense Crystal Palace, who were conceding 5 every game before that. And now they're out of a sudden not scoring a single goal there. But they're playing against Manchester United. And we know that Amorim already promised that they're going to be heavily rotating in a game against, like in a game they already did that again against Wolves, just because they want to conserve the players again for the Europa League clashes against Athletic Bilbao. So if they're not playing their main players, right, and maybe the attitude of the team is like, oh, so the manager said that we are not really, it's not that important, so we may as well not try hard. But Bournemouth are kind of like in they're contesting the Champions League, not Champions League necessarily, but the European Cup competition places. So they would want to like push it up a little bit, take it to the second gear, and maybe win the game. So Kluivert is a no-brainer. I, for one, have Semenyo, which is a player that I oftentimes watch. He's very aimed at scoring goals, right? He's likes to take shots, but the conversion is very low. So I will still keep him, making a sideways transfer for Mainz for absolutely no reason for that. But another player that if you want to play attacker instead of midfielder would be Evan Nilsson. It's a very good decision as well if you haven't had him yet in your team. It's just because for me I already have, I'm limited in terms of transfers, but many people will end up with likes of Evan Nilsson, Isak, and the third one will be Cunha, for instance. It could be Evan Nilsson, Visa, Cunha. It could be Isak, of course. Isak probably will be featuring in every free hit team, but that's what I'm saying. It's just up to you. So Evan Nilsson scored 9 goals. He was injured also for some time. Came back from the injury. He's not a real assistant, but he's always like box in the box type of a player. He's always there, waiting for deflection and converting like easy chances, and that's good for fantasy, right? So he's also like a fantastic player. Came from Porto, I guess, right? So another player that you can get is Chris Wood. Many people are considering Brentford to be absolute nightmare to play against away. So if they out of sudden, like it feels like they play better away from home. But Chris Wood, he just scored a goal against Tottenham. He is back. He's a starter. Now he can play 31 games and 19 goals. He's a fantastic record, and he's on course to get the Golden Boot probably, right? He's contesting that with Salah. Of course, Salah scored more. Yeah, so that's Chris Wood. I think it's a no-brainer as well if you want him to keep him for a long run. It's just for me, I have already 2 assets from Nottingham Forest, so I'm not really itching to get a third one. And Anthony Elanga is one of the players that I have, and he assisted Wood, I think, right? I assisted Wood in the game against Tottenham. The problem is Anthony Elanga, even though like he is always delivering, somehow he's not getting a lot of minutes. Maybe just his minutes are being managed just because he just came back from an injury. But he only played 45 minutes. But even then, in these 45 minutes, he managed to come out with a return. 6 goals, but there's 9 assists for him in 33 games. And most of these are coming in the last 3 games. So he's in a hot form too. And Bumo, like, look, they're playing against Forest, who haven't conceded against Arsenal. And Liverpool, just recently, yes, they lost to Everton, but that was like in a goal they conceded in the dying minutes at home. At home, Nottingham Forest are not easy to break, so I think if you're getting Boomer, don't be disappointed if he's not returning you 19 points again, which we did previously. And I'm so like, it's just such a shame. I watched I picked up Bowen, was my differential. It was 50-50 between Bowen and Boomer. Bowen scored a goal against Southampton on paper, which were like easier opposition than Brighton. Not necessarily, I expected Brighton to concede a lot of goals. But this is such a shame because I watched how West Ham are playing, and I feel like West Ham are scoring like 2 goals max till the end of the season. They're so poor in attack. And Mbuma, he's on the set pieces, he's on penalties, he's always involved in goals, and I feel like that would have been such a massive differential pick for me. I would have been like 50,000 rank if I got Mbuma, I think. Jon Visa, another player that if you don't, if you already have Mbuma maybe, or if you want to double up, or if you need a striker, he's always involved. In Mbuma is not scoring, it's most likely Visa, so most of the time. He's not on the set pieces though, so if you really want penalty takers or like, you know, like players who are always involved, that would be Cunha probably, and Mbuma, then of course, yeah, so Chris Wood as well, right? So these 3 picks for improving your odds on getting someone. So for me, that would be on getting like a penalty maybe. For me, that would be probably Mateta will be heated because his fixtures are only getting worse now. And just Crystal Palace, like already, I'll give him that. That goal against Arsenal was pure cinema. That was fantastic goal, and I needed that because I really was wishing that I benched Mateta, double Gameweek player. I was kind of like knee-jerking them out of my team. Munoz could have been benched instead of Kyrgios there because he got only 6 points, I think, and Kyrgios got 8 in a draw away against Crystal Palace there. But this is a team that looks alright. It's not necessarily, and I can equally play Becker, Alisson Becker. So that's how I'll be fielding. Yeah, so could be vice captain Salah. Salah, look, I will probably captain Isak. Ipswich is a very easy position. Although I feel like Liverpool will score 2 or 3 past Tottenham. I feel like Salah is, I don't know, he had a chance to score against Leicester at least once. And he didn't take it, he hit the post. That was such a close range that I expect him to score there. I might be unlucky a little bit, but it feels like he is a little bit, his form is deep and closer to the end of the season. Maybe Loki, he's not trying to score more goals, like so that he can break his records again next season. You never know. So all of these conspiracies and yeah, just I don't know. I feel like if I feel like more comfortable captaining Isak, and that could be a differential on its own. Many template managers, many people like those who are like subscribed to like FPL channels, they want to conserve their rank, they'll go probably for Salah. They also want to conserve their rank, and they'll be getting the likes of Palmer on their free hit. They'll be getting the likes of I don't know, Trent or like another Newcastle defender. Yeah, it will be difficult to end another 3rd game week in a row, actually 4th game week in a row, I think, with a green arrow for me. Because after I started using assistant manager, obviously my rank started growing naturally, because I was losing that rank before. And yeah, so it will be very difficult because everyone is going to be playing their free hit. But if you're not playing a free hit, or you're like building a wildcard, now these selections that I gave you, except for Luis Diaz, they are all good for the next few game weeks. So I would be picking up Ryan Nuri on wildcard, I would be picking up Mateus Cunha on wildcard, Justin Kluivert not a bad option as well, Evan Nielsen not a bad option, Chris Wood is decent, because these teams, they're trying to like maybe push for the Champions League places or like European Cups spots, and they'll be contesting that with likes of Chelsea. And Chelsea, the way they won against Fulham, congratulations, but it wasn't really convincing. And Buma is just a player who is involved in attack, and Brentford are playing very attacking fun football, so they are not really in contention to get like some kind of Champions League spots. But at the same time, I feel like they could be fun players to have in your team. In addition to, I think that people are now selling Newcastle players, and I noticed that obviously if you sell Newcastle players and get them for Ipswich, it's not really essential to have Murphy or Harry Barnes for Brighton and Chelsea and Everton, but having 1 or 2 of their attackers is good, I think, because they also want to get these Champions League spots, and they are actually, I think, that one of those teams that is close to getting them. So yeah, that's the Game Week 34 selection video, no free hit, and I think that I'll end in this game week on a red arrow. But I hope that this red arrow is not going to be as punishing, and I hope that for the game week number 32, we are getting so many good doublers, double fixtures, so that I can actually get the most of my free hit that I saved instead of using it right now. That's it for me. I hope you have a fantastic weekend in terms of FPL and in general, and I'll see you next.